Hey everybody, Dave here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a new playthrough series. We're going to be playing A Touch of Evil. And this time I have a team of 4 heroes that will be going up against the Scarecrow. And we'll be looking at him momentarily. We've been having a lot of fun with the Flying Frog game production games. With the channel over the past months. You've probably seen I did a playthrough of the Dark Gothic deck building game. I also did a playthrough with Shadows of Brimstone, and Doug just recently wrapped up a playthrough of Fortune and Glory, and we thought it'd be fun to lap around and bring A Touch of Evil back to the table, especially in October. It's like a spooky games month, so what better choice than this to bring to the table? It's just dripping with that gothic horror theme, and it would be fun. And I know it's been a while since this one has been on the channel. Doug did a playthrough when the 10th anniversary edition released, and he went up against the Spectral Horseman. So if you have not seen that, you're going to want to go and check that out. So really quickly, in this particular game, I'm going to be using the base game as well as the Something Wicked expansion. So we have the 10th anniversary Shadowbrook board on the left with the 3D models that come with it for the corner locations. I have our 4 heroes that are set up in the town hall space. And I have some rings that are around them because I have 4 female investigators that I'm looking forward to playing with. They should have some really cool, they have really cool abilities and should have some really cool synergy. But the rings are on them because the models look similar and I don't want to get them confused. Also on the right we have the Echo Lake board with some investigation that starts off on 3 of the locations, the bog, the south and north docks. So above the board we also have our town elders are set up. Each of them have a secret placed underneath them, and I also have now down at the bottom the cooperative game Shadow Track set up. So the difference is during the cooperative game, as the Shadow Track moves closer to darkness, our villain is going to become stronger and gain more combat dice as we go along. So that is not going to be good. Also, the you can see here we don't see anything on the competitive side. So on the cooperative side, you will see as we move down here, the villain will gain 2 health, another 2 health here, and then as we start getting really, really bad, he's going to get stronger with combat dice. Now, that's going to be really, really interesting because if we take a look at our Scarecrow villain, we look at their card, is going to have a starting health of 20. So you see this 5 right here. When you're playing a cooperative game, their health is going to be multiplied by the number of investigators in the game. So that we're going to have 20 health to start off with. Now, the some special rules. This is interesting because he feeds on fear, and as the game progresses, especially if the Shadow Track moves closer to darkness, he is going to gain bonuses of additional combat dice and health. So it's kind of a double whammy between his ability of feeding on fear as well as the cooperative Shadow Track where he gets stronger. The other thing is he's got 3 advanced abilities, so he's well hidden, so heroes have to pay double the cost listed on a layer card to start a showdown with the Scarecrow. So he's going to be expensive to actually start a fight with, so we have to make sure we have plenty of investigation. He is vulnerable though, he's flammable, so a hero can discard any keyword fire item while fighting the Scarecrow to gain +5 fight dice for 1 attack. So that could be really good. So torches are going to be something our heroes are going to want to be purchasing. And then also this Master of Terror. Anytime the mystery card Murder is played, roll a d6. We roll a 4+. Put a Murder of Crows at the same random location as the Investigation. What the Murder of Crows is something that is on the Scarecrow minion chart, which we will be using the advanced game minion chart, and we will have these crows coming out on the board, and they're also going to be in different locations. So we're going to have these minions coming out as well as the what happens with the murder card. Let's see here. A couple of other things that I wanted to talk about before we look at our heroes is I will be using the Advanced Cooperative Mystery Phase chart. And also, I think just for fun, because I'm a glutton for punishment, when it comes time for Showdown with the Scarecrow, we will use the Advanced Showdown chart as well to make the game just a little bit more difficult that way. However, to balance that out, one of the things that I will use is one of the optional rules of holding back the darkness as we get down to the area where, if we get down to the shadow track being in the red, then the investigators can collectively pay 2 investigation each to push the shadow track back 1 space away from the darkness. So you can do that like once per turn. So that those are pretty much the things that are going on. So before we get started, let's take a look at our 4 heroes. So the first one that we're going to be looking at is Adriana, the foreign traveler. Now she is actually going to be the one with the red ring around her. She's got a spirit of 3, cunning of 3, combat of 3, so she's pretty well balanced. She's considered strange. Now she's blind, so she cannot use book or map items. But she's interesting here. She's got a fast strike. During a fight, roll fight dice and resolve any hits before opponents get to fight back. Meaning, we're going to roll her dice first and apply any hits, and then we'll roll for the villain to see what happens, or the minions. Then, she also has enhanced senses, pays 1 less investigation to look at the secrets of the town elder. And then also may pay 2 investigation during a fight to force an opponent to re-roll one of their fight dice. And this can be used multiple times per fight. So, and she has 3 health boxes. So the interesting thing with her, she has an honor of 4. The interesting thing with her is, as much as we need investigation to pay for showdowns, she can use investigation to her advantage to be able to manipulate the things during a fight, and also to be able to investigate our town elders. So she's going to have the red ring around her. The next one that we're going to look at is Abigail Stern, student of the occult. Now she is the green ring. She is a female. She's a student. She's also considered strange. She has a spirit of 2, cunning of 3, combat of 2. So she's a little stronger on her cunning. The occult knowledge may use cunning instead of combat in a fight. So that's pretty cool. But here's where it gets really interesting. Student gains +1 cunning for every book she has. Gains an extra health box for every occult item she has. So she's going to definitely be one that is going around and encountering corner spaces, specific ones that are going to be good for cunning and occult items. Now, I'm hopefully planning on having her and Adriana travel together, because Adriana can't use books, but if she finds them, she can give them to Abby and make her more powerful. So I thought that would be really cool. She also has 3 health boxes. The next one that we're going to look at is Sarah the Bright Witch. Oh, by the way, Abigail has an honor of 2. So we have Sarah the Bright Witch. She has an honor of 4. She is a female and she is magic. Now she has a spirit of 4, a cunning of 2, and combat of 3. Now, here's an interesting, great thing about her. Strength of Light gains 2 investigation at the start of each of her hero turns or showdown fight rounds. But she's going to lose 1 investigation each time the shadow track moves a step closer to darkness. And then, this is, she has the Aura of Protection, may pay 2 investigation at any time to prevent a wound to any town elder or hero, including herself, on the d6 roll of 3+, limit once per wound. So she can use investigation. So she's going to gain 2 investigation at the start of each of her turn, and she can use investigation to protect people. She's a witch. She may not use guns. She gains +2 fight dice against any magic, demon, or construct enemies, and has 3 health boxes. So this is good because she has +2 fight dice against constructs, which the Scarecrow is a construct. So Sarah is should be a little bit better suited in fighting her. And then finally, and Sarah is the yellow-ringed character, and then finally we have Valeria the Eternal, and she is a female vampire and ancient. She has a 2 spirit, 3 cunning, 3 combat. She has an honor of 3. And Vampire automatically heals D3 wounds at the end of a fight round in which she defeated an enemy. This may prevent her from being KO'd. She's also immune to curses. And then Strength of Darkness, so gains 1 investigation each time the shadow track moves a step closer to darkness. So even though the Bright Witch, she will lose 1 investigation as the shadow track moves, then Valeria is going to gain 1. So they kind of will offset each other. Now she's undead, and she may not use gun items, and may not use or carry cards that are holy, or that give a bonus against vampires, including town elders. So, and she has 3 health boxes as well. So the interesting thing is, if she finds holy items and nobody's with her, I guess she's going to have to discard them because she's not going to be able to carry them. So those are the 4 heroes that we will be placing and using on the board to take on the Scarecrow and his minions. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they are all going to have a great synergy working together. So what I need to do now is determine who is going to be the start player for the first round, and we're going to get into it. Now, if you're not familiar with how to play A Touch of Evil, there are plenty of videos that are out there, and you will actually see, and we'll talk through this as we're playing through the game. Essentially, though, we will go through and have all of the heroes are going to go, and then we will have a mystery phase, and so on and so forth throughout the game. So you'll see each of those things as we go through. So the first thing that I need to do is roll a die to see who is going to go first. So this is going to be a roll for Adriana, and she rolled a 1. Abigail rolls a 3. Sarah the Bright Witch rolled a 2, and Valeria rolls a 1. So Abigail Stern is going to be the start player for this round, so she will have the marker in front of her, and you'll see that off camera. I have a lot of things that are out of frame that you don't see. This actually takes up quite a bit of space, so as I need things, I will be able to grab them. Hopefully, I'm not going to make a lot of mistakes in this game. There's not as much going on as there are in some of the other titles, but I do want to, that Flying Frog publishes, but I do want to do my best to make sure that it is being played correctly, and we have a great time and you enjoy watching this. So, without further ado, let's get into playing A Touch of Evil. So Abigail Stern is going to go first, and a little bit about Abigail Stern, the student of the occult. She's well read in the ancient texts and tomes of occult knowledge. Abigail's studies have led her to Shadowbrook in hopes of learning more about the supernatural firsthand. Staying at a roadside inn near Echo Lake, she spends her days exploring the surroundings, while staying up late into the night to pore over her books and newfound artifacts. She will stop at nothing to unlock the secrets of the occult and will open any door, no matter where it leads. All right, so that's a little bit about Abby. The first thing that we're going to do is roll for her movement. And if she rolled a 1, so one of the rules, when you roll a 1 for your movement, you get to draw an event card. So the first thing that she draws is Expand the Search event. Play immediately. Place a militia marker at any 2 named locations on the board. Limit 1 militia marker per space. Leave no stone unturned. Well, that's really good, because now we can start beefing up some of these locations. Maybe we don't know exactly where our villain is going to be, but we can place these militia markers on 2 named locations on the board. So I think let's place one of these at the windmill. We'll place a militia over here, so it's going to be +1 combat for us and an additional wound space. And then we also will have one. We're going to place one on the other board as well over at the inn. So actually, you know what? I think we're going to keep we'll place it at the inn there. And let me tell you about what the militia does. So the militia spaces on where those markers are, they give any hero in the same space +1 combat and can take 1 wound for the hero. And if a wound is assigned to the militia marker, we're going to remove it from the board. So as long as they're there, they can actually absorb 1 wound, but they're also going to give an additional +1 combat. So that's going to be quite useful for our players. So she's actually going to move back to Abby's turn. She actually has one movement. And so she actually may use cunning instead of combat in a fight. So it might be in her best interest to go to the magistrate's office and try to train her cunning. So the first thing that we're going to do is we will draw an event card for that, and then we can pay 2 investigation to make an honor 5+ test. And if she's successful, she'll gain +1 cunning. So that could actually make her more powerful. But first thing that we need to do is to draw an event card for that. So we have this Clandestine Meeting, another one, event. Play immediately. Choose a town elder and place their marker on the board in any empty space the next time any hero ends their move in the space with the elder. Remove him from the board, and the hero gains D6 investigation. If a 1 is rolled, for the amount of investigation, also add a secret to that elder. If a 6 is rolled, also add a resolve token to that elder. While on the board, this town elder may not join a hunting party. So, let's see. At this point, we don't know anything about any of our any of our town elders, so we can just pick one. So let's just go ahead and use Dr. Manning. So I'm going to find his bust and place him on the board. So here we have Dr. Manning, and we can place him on any empty space on the board. Let's place the doctor over at the manor. So we'll place him over there. So in case somebody goes up to the manor, they should be able to, if they move there, they'll be able to gain some investigation. So we'll place this right here. So this Clandestine Meeting. So that's actually good for some people to gain investigation. Next, now that we've drawn that event card, is that Abby is going to pay her 2 investigation to make an honor 5+ test to train her cunning. So hopefully she'll be able to do that. So we have our dice tray on the board, and we're going to roll. She's got an honor of 2, so we're looking for 5+, and we are successful in our roll. She rolled a 5 and a 4, so she is going to gain +1 on her cunning, so that's actually going to make her have a cunning of 4. So now she is going to be a little bit stronger in a fight because she may use combat. I mean, she may use cunning instead of combat in a fight. Okay, but that cost her all of her investigation, so right now she has none. All right, next we're going to move on to Sarah the Bright Witch. And adept in the ways of bright magic, Sarah has spent her lifetime learning to control the white auras and shimmering lights of the tarot wind. A student of nature, she has grown up in the rural countryside and has committed herself to preserving life and protecting the world from darkness. Sensing the evil that has crept its way into Shadowbrook, Sarah has set out on a mission to save the beleaguered town and its people from a gruesome fate. But this is a challenge greater than any she has ever faced. All right, so it's a little bit about Sarah. The one thing that we need to do is at the start of her hero turn, she is actually going to gain 2 investigation. So I'll take the 2 investigation, place them on her board, so she has 4. And we will now again roll for her movement. So we'll place this on the board there, and we rolled, and she rolls a 2. Now, a couple things about locations and different spots on the board. Where are they going to want to go, and what do the spaces all represent? Well, on the main board, the manor focuses on spirit, secrets, and books. The windmill focuses on cunning, investigation, and items. The old woods focuses on spirit, combat, and magic. And the abandoned keep focuses on cunning, honor, and dangers. So she, I'm not really sure what she's going to want to do, but she has a good amount of spirits, so she might actually want to move down towards the old woods. So we have to look and see. There's 2 different ways to go. She can actually go over to here to go around, hopefully, and I think that that's what we're going to do, but she will not be able to encounter a space. I'm trying to see if she's weak in any items. Well, actually what she can do is she can go move one of her spaces and will actually go up to the blacksmith, and she could probably buy a town item there. Maybe she can pick up a torch so that we have one in case we have an encounter with the Scarecrow. It's always good to be prepared early on, and she has the ability to purchase that. So the first thing that we need to do is draw an event card for her, though. And we have Autopsy. It's an event. Play as an action while at the doctor's office, and only if there is at least 1 town elder dead. Gain D6 investigation. So right now we can't use that, but we will hold on to this event card and be able to play it later on. Now, the next thing we can do is purchase a town item. So I will grab the town item deck and we can look and see what we want to purchase. So I have these in cost order, and so she has 4 investigation to be able to buy things. So she could choose to purchase an old map, which will give her +1 honor. She already has an honor of 4. So I don't really think that she needs to increase that by having the old map. And also, instead of moving normally, she can discard it to move to any space on the board. The only advantage there is being able to move really, really quickly. She can choose to have a horse that will give her +1 move and the limit of 1 transport. There's another horse. We have healing herbs, which she can discard at any time except during a fight round to heal 2 wounds from any single hero, including herself. And discard to remove all transformation markers from a curse affecting you. So, kind of interesting. There's a couple of those. We have a charmed relic. Once per game round, when you draw a card from a corner location, you can discard it and draw it again. After each use, roll a d6. On a roll of 1, you discard it. So, a great way to mill through cards in the corner locations. But here we have a torch. You may ignore the effects of cards with keyword weather, and once per fight round you may force an enemy in your space to re-roll one of its fight dice. After each use, roll a d6. On the roll of 1 or 2, discard it. And there is a book of town history that would give her +1 cunning. Boy, this would be a great item for Abigail to have, because she'll get +1 cunning and then another one for book. So she needs to get some investigation and get over to the blacksmith to buy that. But Sarah the Bright Witch is going to spend 4 investigation to buy this torch. And so during a fight round 2, she can also force an enemy to re-roll dice. So I think that's going to be a useful thing for her to purchase. So we will place this item next to her, and she will spend her 4 investigation for that. All right. So I know she was thinking about maybe going to the old woods, but it might have been a little bit better to stop off there at first. Next, we're going to be looking at Valeria the Eternal. So Valeria, beautiful but deadly, Valeria has walked this earth for millennia. One of the very few remaining vampires of the ancient world, once a noble princess of the legendary kingdom of Ferox. She now travels the world in secret, the last of a long-dead civilization. With the memory of 100 lifetimes, Valeria is not interested in fame or fortune, only the fleeting joy found in hunting the most dangerous of prey. Well, for her right now, she's thinking the most dangerous of prey is the Scarecrow. So we're going to go and rule for her movement, and she rolled a 6. So she can move to a lot of spaces on the board, and I think I'd really like to see her go over to the windmill. There are some items there, although she may not use guns or holy items, but she may be able to get something else that is useful. Just to recap on the rules, that each hero is allowed to carry 1 item from each of the corner locations on the board. So there's a total of 7 corner locations and 3 town and or monastery items. So that she can have a total of 10 things with them. So Valeria is blue, so she's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4 up to the windmill. And then when she gets to a location, what she will do then is encounter the space. So we will draw a windmill card and see what happens there. So we have she finds a pitchfork. It is an item, so +1 combat, and once per fight round you may re-roll one of your fight dice. If the re-roll is a 1, discard this item. So that's going to boost her combat up from 3 to 4. So place that in front of her. So that was actually a useful thing to do there. I'm not sure if there's anything else that she wants to do at that particular space. She could, and she only has 2 investigations, so it's really not, she's not able to investigate any of our town elders yet because it's going to be too expensive for her. The cost for investigating a town elder is going to be 1 investigation per hero, so it's going to cost 4 to be able to do that. So that is actually her turn. And then finally we're going to go up to Adriana, our foreign traveler. So let's see what we have about her story. She's a traveler from a distant and exotic land. Adriana has ventured away from her home to see what the rest of the world has to offer. Journeying from town to town, she has come to Shadowbrook in its darkest hour. Though blind, her other senses are extremely heightened, making her an agile and deadly fighter. Around her right eye is a birthmark in the shape of a crescent moon. Though quiet and subdued in social settings, Adriana is clearly more than she appears. All right, so let's roll for her movement. And she rolled a 3. Let's see if there's anything that she is weak at right now. She's pretty balanced, and she cannot use book or map items, but she also needs to, I think she was going to try to stick with Abigail. So moving around that location, I think she's actually going to start making her way down towards, actually we're just going to move down toward the abandoned keep. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 for her movement. And there is nothing that she can do in that particular space, so that is going to be her turn. So now that we've gone through all of our heroes this turn, we're actually going to go into our mystery phase. Alright, as we enter the mystery phase, the first thing that would happen normally would be that any KO'd heroes are revived. Nobody is KO'd at this point. The villain would heal. We haven't had an encounter with the villain yet. So the next thing that we would do is roll on the Cooperative mystery phase chart. So we have that right here. So that's going to require a roll of 2 d6 to see what happens. And then after that, we're going to draw a mystery card. So let's see what happens. Hopefully we don't roll anything really bad. We rolled an 11. So possessed by madness. Every hero must immediately roll a d6 and add their honor. Whoever has the lowest result, roll off if tied, must immediately engage in a single fight round with the hero that has the highest result. Each of these heroes gain 1 investigation for every hit they do to each other. Heroes may choose to roll fewer fight dice than they are normally allowed, but not fewer than their basic combat skill. So, that's not very, very good. So, let's see. So we're going to roll first for, we'll roll first for Abigail Stern. See what she rolls. She rolls a 5. We add it to her honor, so she's at a 7. So I'm going to place 2 green dice next to her thing, set up to 7. So that's her result. Because we will take the 5 and add her honor. Then the next one that we're going to roll for is Sarah the Bright Witch. And she rolled a 3. She has an honor of 4, so she's also going to be a 7. So those two are tied right now. And Valeria the Eternal, her roll is a 1 with a 3, so she is at a 4. So currently she is the lowest. And Adriana, the foreign traveler, she rolls a 4, and she has a 4 honor, so she is 8. So she is actually the highest, and we also have Valeria is the lowest. So what's going to happen is those two are going to engage in a single fight round. Each of those heroes are going to gain 1 investigation for every hit that they do to each other. So heroes may choose to roll fewer fight dice than are normally allowed, but not fewer than their basic combat skills. So, they are each going to have to roll 3 dice against each other. So, let's see what happens. Hopefully they're not going to hurt each other too much. We don't need anybody being KO'd, especially during this round, because they won't be able to do anything in the next round. So, Adriana is rolling her 3 dice against Valeria, and a 5 or 6 hits, so she actually does 1 wound to Valeria. And so she's going to take a wound over there, and then Adriana is going to gain 1 investigation. And we will now roll for Valeria against Adriana. See what happens with them. And she rolled no hits, so there is no investigation for them. So that is the what we happened in the advanced mystery phase chart there on the co-op. And now we have to draw a mystery card. That this is going to be read by an affected Abigail Stern. So it says growing strength. This card plays on the villain, +1 health remains in play. So the Scarecrow now has already become stronger by 1 health, so now he's got 21 health. And we will now pass the first player marker to the player on the left. So now Sarah the Bright Witch is going to be the start player for the next round. So we will play and see what happens. So now we will roll for Sarah's movement. Actually, she's going to gain 2 investigation at the start of her activation. So 2 investigation to Sarah. And we will roll for her movement. And she rolls a 3. She is going to move up to the windmill. 1, 2, 3. And we'll encounter the space there. And so she found the Book of Town History. +1 cunning, and it costs you 1 investigation less to look at the secrets of the town elder to a minimum of 1. So that's cool. So she has now a cunning of 3, and she has a torch. So that's actually really, really good. That was a nice encounter there. And she's also going to say hello to Valeria. She's like, "Hi, Valeria, how are you?" All right, that was her turn. Next, it's actually going to be Valeria's turn, so she will roll for her movement. And she rolled a 5. Let's see. She can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She can go to the church and test her spirit. She's already kind of low on spirit, so I think maybe we might want to do that. Might be actually worth her time to go down there. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Especially with her honor. So she's going to draw an event. It's kind of funny, a vampire going to the church to train her spirit, but you never know what kind of church that is. So we have an event card for her. Is aggressive combat. Give any hero, minion, or villain +2 combat for 1 fight round. So we'll go ahead and add that to our hand. And she can pay 2 investigation to make an honor 5+ test. If successful, gain 1 spirit. So we will spend 2 investigation to make an honor test for to potentially raise her spirit. So she has an honor of 3. We're looking for 5s or 6s. And unfortunately, she has failed. So she spent 2 investigation. The church was not a good location for her to go to, probably. But we thought it would be good to improve her spirit. All right, moving on. Now is Adriana's turn. She is the red. So we have to roll for her movement. See what she's at. She rolled a 6. And she's really don't want to waste a whole lot of her movement, but maybe instead of going to the abandoned keep, she will actually head over here to the old woods and encounter that space. And she finds a book of witchcraft, which is going to give +1 spirit, +1 cunning. Well, she can't use that book, but she can carry it. So the great thing is when she's going to want to meet up with Abby Stern and give her that book, and it will make Abby stronger. So maybe not so much of an advantage for Adriana, but if she can get that book over to Abby, that is going to be something that is going to be a benefit for her. So this particular round, all of our heroes have gone. So again, now we're going to move into our mystery phase. So we'll go ahead and roll on the mystery chart. See what we rolled. We rolled a 6, the March of Darkness. Every minion on the board immediately moves 2 spaces along the shortest path to the town hall. If there are no minions on the board, instead roll once on the villain's minion chart and place that minion at 2 random locations. Okay. So, we actually will have to re-roll if there's any events. So let's bring out the Scarecrow's minion chart. We'll look at that. And we will roll a d6 and see what happens. So we basically need to roll a 3, 4, or 5. We rolled a 4, so Murder of Crows. And this is actually going to come out at 2 random locations. So here's an interesting thing with the Murder of Crows. Whenever Murder of Crows is rolled, put a crow marker in the space as well as an additional crow marker in every adjacent space. Limit 1 crow marker per space. For every crow marker that cannot be placed, move the shadow track 1 step closer to darkness. Unlike other minions, crows do not displace existing minions and do not stop hero movement or escaping from a fight. Crows also do not prevent a hero in the same space from taking action, such as encountering a location. Whenever a hero enters or starts their movement in a space with a crow marker, or if the crows appear in the hero space, roll a d6. On the roll of 1, the hero must lose 1 investigation, item, ally, or take a wound. And any hero in a space with a crow's marker may try to drive them off. As an action, make a spirit or cunning 5+ test. If successful, the crow's marker is removed from the board and the hero gains 3 investigation. Alright, so the first space that we're going to draw, where we're going to place a Murder of Crows, we will draw from the lair deck, and it is going to be the fields. So, let's see, where are the fields is actually on our board there, so we'll place a crow there, and it's going to go on every adjacent space. So we have crows there and there on the board. And we will have the second one is going to be on the Forgotten Island, which is over on the other board. So that's actually going to have crows there, and then the only adjacent locations there are going to be the north and south docks. Even though it costs a little bit to move there, those are adjacent spaces. So there we have our crows on the board. So all right, that's those 2 things. Those will get discarded. And the next thing that we have to do now is to draw a mystery card, and this is going to be for Sarah the Bright Witch. And we have Murder. The villain has struck again. Place 3 investigation on the board at a random location. Move the shadow track 1 step closer to darkness. Okay, so we have to do, there's a couple things we need to be worried about here. First of all, with our villain, he's a master of terror, so anytime the mystery card Murder is played, roll a d6 on the roll. 4+, put a Murder of Crows at the same random location as the investigation. Okay, so the random location we have is the south dock. And so I'll place 3 investigation over onto that space on the board. So the south dock is actually over here. So now there's 5 investigation over there. The shadow track is going to move 1 step closer to darkness. So this will go from 20 down to 19. As this moves, we have 2 things that are going to happen. Number 1, Sarah the Bright Witch is going to lose an investigation each time the shadow track moves a step closer to darkness. However, Valeria is going to gain an investigation each time the shadow track moves a step closer to darkness. So I've taken care of that. And so now the other thing we need to do is roll to see what happens. We roll a d6. If it's a 4, 5, or 6, we have to put a Murder of Crows out there. We rolled a 1, so fortunately we did not have to worry about that on our mystery card. So that will get discarded. So we have that out of the way. We have this out of the way. All right, and so finally what we're going to do then is pass the start player marker down to Valeria the Eternal. I think we're going to play 1 more round, and then we're going to call it a session for this particular episode. So, Valeria's turn. She is going to roll for her movement, and she rolled a 3. So I believe she's going to go up to the manor. 1, 2, 3. So, now, we have a card that is in play that has to do with our town elder. So we'll have to see how that is going to be resolved. So we have this Clandestine Meeting, and it says that the next time any hero ends their move in the space with the Elder, remove him from the board, and the hero gains D6 investigation. So he's going to come off the board, and we're going to roll and see how much investigation Valeria is going to get. She is going to get 6 investigation. So, here we go. This is cool. So she got a big payoff. And it says down at the bottom on here that if a 1 is rolled, we add a secret to the Elder. If a 6 is rolled, also add a resolve token to that Elder while on the... Okay, so resolve token is great because resolve tokens you can discard to prevent a wound. So that was Dr. Manning. So he's actually going to get a resolve token onto him. So I have it placed up here. So in case of being involved in the hunting party, if he takes a wound, we can actually use the resolve token to discard to save him. So that was a really, really good encounter there. First, now we're going to encounter the space of the manor itself. And we have loose floorboards. This is investigation. When she thinks no one is looking, the servant girl, Delaney, pries open the cracked floorboard in the kitchen. Inside, she keeps her lockbox of secrets. A treasure trove if you can discern how to open it. So make a spirit 6+ test and gain 3 investigation for every 6+ rolled. Well, she's got low spirit. She only has a 2 spirit, but that doesn't mean that she can't roll a couple of 6s and possibly get even more investigation. So let's roll and see what happens. She rolls a 3 and a 2, so unfortunately she was not able to collect any investigation from that lockbox. But she did have a nice clandestine meeting with the town elder and to be able to see what she's going to do. Now, she does have investigation and is actually able to investigate, and I think that maybe what she's going to do is investigate Dr. Manning and see what his secret is. So it's going to cost 4 investigation to be able to do that. So we're going to spend 4 investigations, so spending 5, getting 1 back, and we're going to take a look at Dr. Manning. So we'll take Dr. Manning's secret, and in a cooperative game, when we reveal it, it's going to be for everybody to see, so it stays out. So we have a little secret. He's a war criminal. So what this town elder did during the Long War of Independence is shameful to say the least. But it's of no consequence to the investigation, so it has no effect. So the nice thing is Dr. Manning, he probably had an experience during the war in which that he did something that's shameful, but it's of no consequence for us. He's still serving our town, and he still has some resolve to be able to help us out. But we do know that he is safe at this point to be able to add to a hunting party if we need to. So Valeria did a great job of investigating our town elder and sharing some information with us. Now, next we're going to move on to Adriana, the foreign traveler, and we're going to roll for her movement. And she rolled a 5. Now, she is going to want to go up and meet up with Abigail so that she can give her the book. So she's going to have movement of 5 spaces. She's going to 1, 2, 3, 4. So she's actually going to go up to the magistrate's office, and she's going to draw an event card. And the event is Shocking Discovery. Choose a town elder with 1 or more unrevealed secrets. Reveal 1 of those secrets. Gain 2 investigation if it's a little secret, or 4 investigation if it's anything else. Or play as an action to automatically collect any investigation in your space without having to make a test. Well, There's no investigation in her space, and I think we're just going to go ahead and use this right now. So who should we investigate? I'm always thinking that Reverend Harding is like a nasty sort, and I'm not sure if we really want to investigate him or risk it. But I'm thinking that maybe we're going to take a look at Lord Hanbrook. So we'll pull out his secret and see. So we're going to reveal it, and it says reveal immediately. This Town Elder joins you as an ally. Place the Town Elder card by your hero character sheet. While they're with you, you gain their special ability and may use their spirit, cunning, or honor instead of your own for any card effect or test. Anytime the shadow track crosses a new stage, or if you're KO'd, the Town Elder leaves you, returning to its normal position. If this Elder is not currently joined with a hero, any hero may pay 4 investigation as an action to have the Town Elder join them. So, that's all right. Hero of the people. So, So, first of all, it's not a little secret. So she's going to gain 4 investigation for that. So we'll just place a 5 over there and take 1 back. And then we have he's going to become a hero of the people. So Lord Hanbrook now becomes an ally with Adriana. So there is something about her that she's more than meets the eye with that. The other thing that we're going to do then is she's going to give an item to Abigail. So she's going to give her the Book of Witchcraft, which is actually going to give Abigail +1 spirit, a +1 cunning, and she's going to have another cunning. It's a magic item, so it's not an occult item, but it just made Abby a whole lot stronger, so that was great. Now, she can also attempt to pay 2 investigation to make an honor 5+ test. So I think she's going to go ahead and pay 2 investigation to try to increase her cunning. Now, the interesting thing about this particular secret is that they can use the special abilities of our ally to make any test. While using an honor test, Lord Hanbrook has an honor of 6. So I think it's going to be safe to say she is going to use Lord Hanbrook's honor to make a roll to train her cunning. So we need to look for a 5+ rolling 6 dice. And we have a 6. So we have 1 success, which is all we needed. And that is going to increase her cunning by 1 as well. So now she has a cunning of 4. So that is, that was a great turn for Adriana. So that is awesome. So we've got Lord Hanbrook, who is the hero of the people, and great. So now it's Abigail Stern's turn. So we'll see what she's going to do. We need to get some, we start having some investigation. Pretty soon we're going to have to start buying some lair cards. But their cost is 12 right now, so we have to get some money here. So she rolled a 3, and wow. Let's see what is she lacking in. So she has low spirit. She also doesn't have any investigation right now. So I think she's actually going to start moving her way over towards the other board to be able to try to collect investigation and probably ward off some of these crows. So she's going to move 1, 2, 3. So she's on a blank space over there by the crossroads. Let's see, she doesn't really need to heal any wounds, and we don't need to look at the town secrets, the elders, or anything like that. So, all right, and there's no investigation for her to collect on the board at this time. So we're going to go ahead and move on to Sarah the Bright Witch. So we'll roll for her movement. And she rolled a 6. At this point now, I'm not really concerned about those crows. She's also going to gain 2 investigation at the start of her turn. So I forgot to do that. So here's a 2 investigation. Over there, she's got 3. She has quite a bit of cunning. Actually, you know what? And she already has an item from the windmill. So I think that she is actually going to shoot across and go over to the manor. Now, again, looking at those crows that are on there, they do not stop hero movement or escaping from a fight. So we don't have to. I can move right through those crows. They are just kind of annoying. But we're going to go over to the manor and we're going to encounter that particular space. And she has found Family Bible. It's an item. It's a book. It's holy. Plus 2 spirit, and she gains the keyword holy. So that's really good. Her spirit is now a 6. So she has the Book of Town History, which, man, that Book of Town History would be another one that she should have probably given it to Abby, but maybe later on down the road we can do that. But she's really, really powerful in terms of spirit. All right, so that is going to be it for her turn. So we've used the shocking discovery event is gone. Bye-bye. All right, so we have gone through with all of our heroes. So now we're going to move into our mystery phase. Okay, I need to make a correction for Sarah the Bright Witch. When she moved across the board, and she crossed across those spaces with the crows, she needs to make a movement of a d6, and if she rolls a 1, we're going to lose stuff. So let's see what happens. So she rolled a 4 for the first space, and she rolled a 3 for the second space, and for the last space she rolled a 2. So we didn't have any negative effect, but it's just going to be that those crows are there. Alright, so next we're going to roll on the advanced cooperative mystery phase and see what happens here. We rolled a 6. So we have the March of Darkness. Every minion on the board immediately moves 2 spaces along the shortest path to the town hall. If there are no minions on the board, instead roll once on the villain's minion chart and place the minion at 2 random locations. Okay, so 2 spaces towards the shortest distance. This is going to go 1, 2 there. Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one's going to actually move 2 spaces this way, and this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll actually move the crows this way. We have a choice there. Then these guys are going to move 1, 2, and then 1, 2, and 1, 2. So unfortunately, what's going to happen sorry, I need to move over on the board over this way. These 2 spaces moved over. North Dock moves 1, 2 spaces. This one here is 1, 2 spaces as well. There is a special rule concerning the round minion counters. And if more than one of these round counters is ever in the same space, remove all but one of them and move the shadow track 1 step closer to darkness for each of these minions removed. So one of these is going to come off, and we will actually have our darkness counter then is going to move down 1 space. So this is going to go down to 18, which is going to, in effect, have Sarah the Bright Witch losing an investigation, and Valeria the Eternal is going to gain an investigation because of their abilities. Next, then we will draw a mystery card and see what happens for Valeria. So it's struck again. A mystery, a death. The villain attacks one of the town elders. Roll a d6 on the roll of 4 plus the town elder with the lowest cunning is killed. Each hero is going to gain 1 investigation. All right, so let's see what happens. Let's roll low, roll low, roll low. We don't need to have one killed. We rolled a 5. So the one with the lowest cunning is killed. So that, unfortunately, is going to be Reverend Harding. So he is currently going to be killed. So what I'm going to do is turn him sideways to show that he is dead. At this point now, he can still be investigated to see if he is an evil elder. If he is evil, then he will actually have faked his death and join the enemy as one of his minions. So that was unfortunate that we had that. And but each hero is going to gain 1 investigation. So that is at least there's some compensation in that. So we have that going across the board. And the next round then, Adriana is going to be our start player. So, all right, that's it for this particular episode of our playthrough for A Touch of Evil. And hopefully you guys are enjoying it so far. We've had some good things happen. We just had unfortunately lost one of our elders, and our darkness track has advanced a couple of times already. So we're down to 18. But let's see. Do you think I've made some good decisions so far with basically some of the player synergy? Getting that book to Abigail Stern has made her a little bit stronger, and I'm thinking that maybe Sarah the Bright Witch, although the cunning is good for her, she might actually be beneficial giving that also to Abigail. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Tune in next time as we're going to continue on in our playthrough series for A Touch of Evil.